This looks great and it's fantastic. People are going to say, what are you eating tonight? And I'm going to say lasagna. But really you're eating cauliflowers, some courgettes, some fennel, some aubergine. We have some spinach in there. We've got some carrots. It's all there and it's a great way to slip in those extra vegetables. So hidden sauces have a lot of value, especially in my kitchen. I'm all for making sure that kids see what they're eating, but occasionally you just need a fuss-free meal. Especially if you use the tip of just blending up your veg in your food processor or your Vitamix. It will make your life much easier and you have this delicious dish at the end of it. Hi, I'm Radhika. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to be exploring hidden vegetables. Now, if like me, you have children, this is a phrase that you're already very familiar with. Now, in reality, we all know that we want everyone to be exposed to vegetables and we want them to experience them in their entirety, to see them, to feel the textures, to feel the individual tastes. But there is another reality, and that is that sometimes you want something that you know everyone is going to eat, but it's still got lots of vegetables in it. So today we're looking at options to fulfill that criteria. Now, I have a few of these in my arsenal and today I'm going to share 2 of them with you. So we're going to start with a very simple tomato sauce. Now, the great thing about tomato sauces is that you can use what I'm about to show you as the foundation for your Mediterranean dishes, you can go Italian dishes, but then you can add another set of spices and you can move it into the Indian curries, you can use it on that side of the flavor profile. So I'm going to start with my vegetables. Now, primarily, we want to stick to these kind of courgettes, these aubergines. I've got some carrots, I've got some fennel here, I've got some celery. You can put as many in or as little in as you like. It's totally up to you. Best not to go with things like potatoes. It's not going to cook so well with tomatoes. But by all means, you could use sweet potatoes and you could throw in even a cabbage, although it may not be the best. Okay, so trick number 1. I don't like chopping. I think I've said it already, I have kids. So I have to slow down. I have to speed up, my processes in the kitchen. So I'm going to start with my trusty Vitamix and I'm going to throw just a few of these in at a time to get a good chop on these. There we go. Now you can see I'm not putting them in whole because you would have to pulse it too much. They would become a vegetable smoothie. I've just cut them into big chunks. See, like this. And I'm not going to fill the blender. I'm just going to fill the bottom of it. And we're going to do it very low speed. So I've got it on a 1 and we're just going to pulse that. Okay? Perfect. So what you'll see is that we have, what you'll see here is that we've got these veg chopped up nice and small. There's a few different sizes in there, but that's not a problem. They'll all cook through nicely. And I'm going to go straight into the pot with that. So let's get this burning. I've got just a little bit of olive oil in there already. And I'm going to go in with a few spices. So I'm going to go in with some asafoetida. Asafoetida is a great alternative to the allium family, to the onions and the garlic, and it just adds a nice, rich, deep flavor. Okay, and then when you see that starting to become aromatic, the color will lighten slightly and you'll be able to smell that. It's a very simple sauce. Like I said, we want to be able to use this for an array of things. So we're just going to keep it with that for now. And we're going to go straight in with our vegetables. Okay, so we'll get the next batch in. blend it up, and then we'll add that into the pot too. Okay, so we've got that all in. We're going to give it a good mix. Now we're just going to let this cook in its own juices, but to really bring its own juices out, we're going to have to add some salt so that we can start to release those lovely flavors, those lovely juices. I'm going to put that onto a medium-low heat, and I'm just going to put the lid on, and we'll let that cook away. Now the great thing about this is, I'm sure, like me, you have fussy eaters in your house, and let me tell you now, it's not only the kids. So those people that don't like courgettes, or that claim they don't like aubergines, or that tell you they don't like this vegetable or that vegetable, honestly, they don't even know it's there. Just throw it all in, blend it all up, and everyone will eat it. It's fantastic. So let's get the lid on that. Okay, so while that's cooking away, I want to show you a second sauce. Now this sauce is as equally easy. What I've done is I have pre-boiled some cauliflower, and I threw a few cashews in there. Now you can also put into this some squash, you can put carrots, you can put anything you like. And with this we're going to make a cheesy sauce. So I've already boiled these, and I'm just going to get them into the blender. So cauliflower straight into the blender, which we've just given a quick rinse. Like I said, you can add a lot of other vegetables to this. I just had cauliflower today, so that's what's going in. And into that we're going to put some miso. We're going to put some salt. Now miso is also a bit salty, so we don't want to put too much. And we're going to go in with our next salty thing, so just be conscious. Some nutritional yeast. This will give it a nice cheesy flavor. I'm going to be very generous there. Now you can also add a little bit of mustard to that, but today I'm just going to go straight in with the almond milk. And we're going to blend that all up. So like I said, we've got the cauliflower, we have some cashews I also boiled into that, the miso, some salt, some nutritional yeast, and a little bit of almond milk. Now let's whiz that up. Okay, so we blend that till it's nice and smooth. And with that we have this lovely, thick, very, very creamy and delicious cheese sauce. Now this can be used for a whole array of things. You want to whack that into pasta, you have yourself some mac and cheese, you can use it as a base of a potato gratin, or you can pair it with more cauliflower, make a cauliflower gratin. You can throw some more spices in there, throw in some curry powder, make yourself like a creamy curry with that. It's got all sorts of uses, but today I'm going to use it for something quite special. I'm going to pop that to the side. We'll come back to it. Okay, so now that we've got our creamy sauce ready, let's come back to our vegetables. So these have been cooking away for around 5 minutes now, and because we've blended them up, they're much smaller and they're cooking much faster than they would otherwise, which is great. So these are already soft, which means we're ready to go in with the next part of our ingredients. So to make a tomato sauce, obviously we need to add tomatoes. This is a very, very flexible recipe. You can put fresh tomatoes, you can blend those up, chop those up and add those in. You can add chopped tomatoes, cans, passata, anything you like to that. You can even add tomato puree or tomato concentrate. Now I'm going to use that today because I really want to show you just how flexible this is. So I've got around 3 tablespoons of concentrate tomato. I'm sure we've all got a little tube of this in the back of our kitchen cupboard, and that's going to go straight in. And because I'm using concentrated tomatoes, I'm going to go in with some water just to provide some liquid to this dish. Ooh, it's getting nice and hot. Okay, so in with the water. I'm going to be nice and generous with this water here, because this is going to be the primary bulk of our liquids in this sauce. And then in with the rest. Okay, now because we're using tomato concentrate, it has the tendency to be a little bit acidic. So I'm also going to go in with just a little bit of maple syrup. You can put any sweetener you like. Obviously, if you're using fresh tomatoes, you might find that you don't need that, but on this particular occasion, we do. Now we've already salted our veg quite generously. So I'm not going to go in with any more salt because I want to be cautious of oversalting it at this point. Just going to give that a quick stir. And we're going to let that cook for 5 minutes more. All right, so the sauce is cooked away for about 5 minutes. You can see that's really coming into its own now. Now, today I'm going to go for the kind of Italian flavors. So I'm going to add some oregano to that. But like I said before, at this point you can temper some spices. You can go for an Indian kind of curry base. You can blend this and it will become this super creamy, delicious sauce that you can then add other things to. It's got so many possibilities. Throw in, temper some cumin seeds and some turmeric, some fresh ginger, and all of a sudden you've got this lovely curry base, all sorts of options. So we've put some oregano into there. I'm gonna pop that off. Now what I'm gonna do today, it's the perfect pairing. I've got a tomato sauce, and I've essentially got a cheats bechamel. So what do we do with tomato sauce and bechamel? We make lasagna. So just to bulk this out a little bit, I'm going to throw just a little bit of crumbled tofu straight into this veg to make sure that everyone's getting everything they need. Mix that in, and then we're going to start to layer it up. Now I'm going to start with good old splash of my tomato sauce. I'll spread that out on the bottom. And we're just going to keep layering. So then in with some there we go. And then we can pour in some of our lovely bechamel. Now I'm also going to add some fresh spinach here, but that's totally optional. You can also add frozen spinach if you just let that defrost. Put a bit of this on top. Now because I'm adding spinach here, I'm just going to do a quick season to make sure that it's all seasoned nicely. And then in with our next layer. Back in with our tomato sauce and just keep going. Ooh, look at that. Creamy and delicious. All that extra spinach, all that goodness. Now, if you really want to make your dish a bit fancy, you can even grate a bit of nutmeg into your bechamel. Secretly just our cauliflower soup, but way more delicious. Okay, I think we're going in for our last layer now. So pop these on, give it a little push down. Now for our last layer, I'm going to mix the two because our bechamel is also going to work as our kind of cheese on top. So we'll get the rest of that sauce in there. Like that. Just a little generous splash of this on top. We'll spread that a little, and I think that is ready to go into the oven. Now obviously you can top this with cheese if you like, but I think it's very good just as is. We'll put that in, take this back out again in around 25-30 minutes. Okay, this looks great and it's fantastic. People are going to say, what are you eating tonight? And I'm going to say lasagna. But really you're eating cauliflowers, some courgettes, some fennel, some aubergine. We have some spinach in there. We've got some carrots. It's all there. And it's a great way to slip in those extra vegetables. So hidden sauces have a lot of value, especially in my kitchen. I'm all for making sure that kids see what they're eating, but occasionally you just need a fuss-free meal. Now, especially if you use the tip of just blending up your veg in your food processor or your Vitamix, you'll make your life much easier and you have this delicious dish at the end of it. So before we tuck in, I'd just like to say a little prayer of appreciation. In the Bhakti tradition, we offer this back to Krishna. But please, you do whatever you connect with, just to say a thank you for what's in front of us before we tuck in. And then enjoy.